Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Bienvenidos a una nueva entrevista. Yo soy Iker Capistrán y el día de hoy tenemos un tema increíble sobre inversiones internacionales con un asesor financiero independiente que viene desde Inglaterra. Obviamente vamos a hacer esta entrevista en inglés, pero todo lo vamos a poner con subtítulos aquí para que ustedes nos puedan ir siguiendo y obviamente tengan toda la información que trae con nosotros, con ustedes, Kevin Luckham. Kevin, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Absolute pleasure, and mucho gusto. Thank you.
Great. So, can you tell us who is Kevin Luckham and what's your trajectory from the last couple of years?
Yeah, sure. I'm an independent financial advisor, and I've been in Mexico since 2007, and I help both expats, but majority of my investment portfolio is to help Mexican clients, their families, their friends to save money regularly for an objective like education planning or retirement planning, or if they've got capital to invest that and make it grow and protect it.
Oh, great. So where are you from?
I'm from Portsmouth, the city of Portsmouth, UK. So I'm definitely not from Mexico, but I do love living here.
Great, wonderful. So can you tell us what's an independent financial advisor?
Yeah, okay, thanks Iker. In terms of what is an independent financial advisor, it's the word independence. This is really important. So I am able to operate individually, look after the client's agenda. So if a client comes to me and says, hey, can you invest my money please in technology companies and gold, I've got the investment partners back in the UK, Europe, US, and I can go and speak to them.
Okay.
So if I'm only tied to one institution, for example, or one bank or one fund manager, I'm kind of tied. I can't give that independent advice. However, because I'm independent, I can listen to what the client wants and give them tailor-made, honest advice, shall we say, because it's tailored to them.
Okay, great. That sounds very, very interesting. So let's say in this case, you have a client or a prospect that wants to invest their money. What's the process with you? Do they give you the money and then you invest it, or where do you invest it? How does it work?
Okay, good question. It's very important, the process. Due to compliance, we do not accept money directly. So there's security, literally low risk for the client because they're not passing us any money. It's not going into my bank account, company bank account. We don't do that. We act as a facilitator and a broker. So once the client is happy with their investment solution after the sort of second, third meeting that we've had, then we say, okay, please, this is a very safe and secure British company listed on the London Stock Exchange. They're going to look after your money. So the contract is between client and provider that we've recommended, but never with us.
Okay, that's very good because in this world of, let's say, money and trading, a lot of people lose their money because they don't know how to invest it. They put it on brokers and they invest it themselves. They don't have the knowledge.
Sure.
So in this case, they come to you, you have all the knowledge of these markets, and then you do all the strategy and all the, let's say, the financial management, right?
That is absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. So we always put the client's protection first, and we always listen to what they want. So we have the first meeting with the investor, the prospective client, and we say, okay, what is it that you want? What is it you need? And sometimes they say, oh, I've got some money, I want to invest it, but I don't know how or what to do. So we guide the prospect through that process, and we even help with the application forms, which are in both English and in Spanish. And we put, provider A or partner A with client B, and we're in the middle as an intermediary broker and advisor.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. So let's say a client is really interested in investing.
Sure.
They're going to make an international investment. So where does the money go? And then where do you invest it?
Okay, correct. So we don't work with local institutions here. We're not going to invest a Mexican client's money in Mexico, for example. So, but we can access fund managers in the US. We can access European, UK fund managers, or even Asia stock markets and fund managers, where we connect our investors to the stock markets. But principally, the base or master provider, shall we say, once we connect that investor to the master provider, they're in the United Kingdom. So we tend to be very a little bit more biased to the UK because I'm from the UK, but that's not the only reason. We work with 3 islands, and those 3 islands are just going around England: Isle of Man, Jersey and Guernsey. They are whitelisted financial centres, and so we only want to operate really with the most protected, most regulated financial centres in the world. And apart from Luxembourg and Switzerland, it's the UK.
Okay, so a lot of people may be asking themselves, when I send my money to another country, what security do I have?
Sure.
Because I invest in here in Mexico, I can go to the bank, and maybe I can have some intention.
Sure.
But when I send it to another country, let's say in this case England,
sure.
What happens? What's my security with my money?
Absolutely, good question. Well, first of all, the security here in Mexico with a bank here is the same as if you invest in a bank in the UK. There's still risk. Okay, so there's different types of security. In terms of security of loss or security, where is my money? Is it safe? Then, fortunately, the islands that we choose, like the Isle of Man, Jersey and Guernsey, because they're whitelisted, means that they've got AA rated Standard & Poor's and Moody's and Fitch. They're not just some islands that we picked. They have the highest compliance, highest regulation in the world. It really is Luxembourg, Switzerland and the UK. So they're actually safer and stronger, those financial institutions, than institutions here in Mexico. So in terms of looking at risk, I'm a risk manager. I understand there's risk there and risk here. However, what we try to do for our clients is to try and lower that risk, and we prefer the United Kingdom, and again some money here, so it's diversified. I mean, we're not saying don't invest here, but it's important to know where to invest and why. So we help clients with that process, and we have also client recommendations, so people can ask our clients. We on my LinkedIn, I've got testimonials, so please feel free.
And it's great because diversification is very important. With all the problems we have right now, we have wars, we have inflation. And here in my channel, we've been talking a lot about Forex, about crypto, about all these markets that are very risky.
Yes.
But in the last couple of years, it's been very easy to get into it.
Yes.
So you invest with fund managers. What's a fund manager, and which fund managers do you work with?
Excellent question. Yeah, just to sort of listening to what you were saying and thinking myself, I think with the last 20 years of the internet revolution and technology and iPhones and Androids and accessibility, then the risk has got bigger, because then you have people investing in isolation. So they have their phone or iPad and they're just buying and selling and having fun to a point, and then I've over invested and I've lost everything, or I've lost 50% of my portfolio. That's where we come in to offer that advice. To answer your question, what is a fund manager? A fund manager and who they could be, I think the obvious ones are in the United States. You've got your big BlackRock. I think everybody knows BlackRock here or seen the logo. BlackRock, JP Morgan, for example. But then in Switzerland, you have UBS. So these are what we call the big fund managers or high street. You see them in the TV and you understand who they are. So they create funds. So a good example is BlackRock will create a fund called technology or global technology. So in that fund, they put their own money into the fund, and using that money, they buy technology companies. Right. Because it's global technology. But they're not just going to buy the US companies such as Microsoft or Apple, to name but a few. They're going to look at Asia. They're going to say, okay, what about Samsung? They're doing well. Let's buy some shares. They amalgamate all those different types of strategies, all those different shares with all, let's say, 80 different companies worldwide that are successful, put it in, and that gets traded on the stock market. The return comes back into the fund, and then they distribute it to investors. And what we do is pick 20% of that or 30% of that from the client's own portfolio, but we'll diversify and look at healthcare. We'll look at sustainable energy because of the decarbonisation trend, and we'll look at, everybody loves Tesla at the moment, but it's a big shift in decarbonisation. So there's a lot of hydrogen, new energy vehicles. It's quite exciting times. So people, hey, can I buy that opportunity? Yeah, absolutely. It's cheap. Buy it now, 20 years, sell it, or sell it in 5-10 years.
Okay, that's great, because let's say we're not just investing in one stock.
Correct. Or
one equity. You have a whole fund manager with a lot of companies. Correct. And then I can get, let's say, a bonus or a percentage of this, all these companies.
Correct.
Wonderful.
So diversification. So one of our sort of leading principles, and my personal principle, is balance, right? It's the spice of life, but diversification is in everything. So designing and creating a portfolio which is pure diversification keeps that risk managed, and that's what people want today. They don't want, you know, to go into the one day crypto's doing fantastic, and then as we saw last year, suddenly it's disappeared. You know, we don't want that. No one wants that.
Right.
Really. People want to make money, but we want to make money in a safe and secure way and have fun with it. So that's what we do. We choose funds that are diversified anyway, and then we can choose different sectors, different fund managers, and different styles.
So what would be the benefit in investing with these fund managers instead of maybe some Forex or some crypto or maybe just one stock?
Yeah, good question. But again, it's the mix of different asset classes. So you don't have to just choose equity, which is investing into companies. You can choose commodity. There's nothing wrong with crypto. There's nothing wrong with foreign exchange and trading currencies. But why not do all of that as well and create a portfolio designed for a specific purpose or plan? So you can go, okay, I want to invest for 10 years because I want to hit this target. Great, then we can help you do that as long as we understand what your risk and return is, and then we can choose different types of asset classes and different sectors, and even put a bit of, you know, Bitcoin in there and a bit of foreign exchange. Why not? No one's saying that's bad, but not 100%.
Yeah, okay.
Not everything in your basket in one area.
Okay. So maybe our audience may be asking themselves, is this for everybody? How much money do I need to invest in? And
Sure.
Maybe what's the return I will have and the time lapse I need for these kind of investments?
It's a good question. So we have two different strategies, or there are only really two different ways. I wouldn't say strategies, perhaps two different ways that you can invest your money. We have savings plans, which do invest into the stock market, but you do it on a nice, easy, regular basis, starting with $500 per month. And that $500 we can diversify each month and buy, you know, global technology companies or sustainable energy companies or a bit of gold. And that's a great way of just accumulating wealth over time. And that's medium to long term. Iker, and we're probably looking around sort of 10, 15 years for education planning. Someone wants to buy a house, maybe 10 years, don't just go to the bank, why not save? And then all the way up to 25, 30 years, which is really important, which is pension planning, retirement planning. That's savings on a regular basis. Then we've got those particular investors that have accumulated capital. They have capital in excess of $50,000, and it's sitting in, you know, BBVA and pesos, and they want that diversification, not just in pesos, but they want pounds, British pounds, euros, and United States dollars. And they want to mitigate inflation and tax, so we can do that too. So, you know, they're the two sort of minimum levels that we're looking for.
Okay, great. So you help people invest in the UK with, let's say, some more secure investments. Sure. With long-term time lapse, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, we do that because, and long term could be 5 years. So it doesn't mean it has to be 35 years or 25 years. However, when you're investing into the stock markets, it's all, the secret of success is patience and building a trend. And understanding, is that model portfolio that I've created, is that going to weather the storm? I mean, you mentioned earlier, we just come out of a pandemic, which caused total destruction of businesses and families. And then 2021, end of 2021, and then entering 2022, we saw Russia invade Ukraine. Then, you know, inflation that was already high just went to 10%. Oil and gas prices went up, and those types of events, high interest rates, then high inflation, just cause a really toxic environment. So, again, you know, we want that diversification for clients.
Okay. That's great. It's very interesting because it's a very different type of investment. You can hear about it a lot here in Mexico City. So is this a new thing or a new kind of investment, or has it been, let's say, in the market for a couple of years?
It's been around a very long time. The concepts that we implement have been around 300-400 years in the UK and Europe, and that's savings, you know, saving regularly, and not having too much debt, reducing debt, consolidating debt, and saving money for the future. It's an old concept. It's not something that we invented. But I think our service is very exclusive and very boutique. I think that's important. It's not going to be for everybody. We understand that. However, it is for those types of investors that are serious about their financial planning. They want to save more. They don't want to leave everything necessarily at a bank. They want it to grow, and they want to plan for their family and their grandchildren, and they want to then leave some money for them as well. So it's taking old traditional values and concepts and packaging it and saying, okay, this is a very boutique and unique service that we operate, and we know it's very boutique.
Great. So it's very, very interesting. In this case, with the audience watching this video, if they're interested in investing long-term or start saving, or they have maybe some capital saved and they want to send it to the UK and invest in the fund managers,
yes.
What's the process? How can they invest and keep their money safe, mitigating inflation, and obviously getting a better future, a better financial future for themselves?
Sure. Very good question. Well, first of all, first meeting. We have to introduce ourselves. You need to introduce yourselves. So your audience that's watching, we need to get to know each other first. So the first process or first step is introduction, and that gives me a chance to go into more detail about what we do. More importantly, this first meeting is a financial diagnostic, Iker. So it allows the client to tell us their sort of pain points and what they're worried about that may not talk to other people about. Right. Whether it be husbands and wives, or grandparents, or whoever it may be, just worries about money, and maybe there's a big secret. They've got a lot of debt, but a lot of cash, or a lot of money, or too many properties. So, hey, we're here. Let's talk about it. We normally find a solution for everything. There is a solution for pretty much everything. However, some people just get so nervous, so stressed about money. So we act like a kind of financial doctor in a way in that first meeting. Once we've detected what the issue is, we then help the client develop a plan. So A, B, C. Okay, this is what you need to do. This is how you're going to do it. And here in the second meeting, here's our recommendations. So it's a financial proposal, recommendations. Do you want it? No. Is this good? Can we adjust it? And it's all, like this suit and your suit. It's tailored, right? So it fits them. It's not something we just picked off a shelf and gave them. It's something that they've been part of. So it allows us to then know exactly where they need to go because they've told us.
Okay.
In a way.
Right.
And it's normally 2 to 3 meetings. Sometimes, most of the time, we're finished in 2 meetings and the client gets started and we help with the applications, get the configuration done, we help with the design of the portfolio, and then we come and meet them for a welcome meeting so they understand how their investment portfolio works, like a web tutorial, so how that works. So as you can probably see, our service is very service driven. It's very client facing, and we believe in advice. And so then ongoing is that we try to meet our clients every quarter so that they feel they can talk to us about another problem, or perhaps they want to know more about how the stock markets work, or they've got more money to invest, which is great. Fantastic.
Great. So you care for clients. You make a whole financial diagnostic for each client, and it depends on their necessities or what they want. You make a whole strategy, and then you keep it, let's say, safe in the long term. Because let's say safe because the market always goes up and down.
Yes.
We don't know, but the tendency is to go on a bull market or to go up in the long term. It's very, very interesting. So if people want to invest long term and keep their money safe in pounds, euros, or British pounds, they can contact like a financial advisor like yourself,
yes,
which has a lot of experience and will care for the clients.
Correct. It's good that you brought that up, because that's our sort of main philosophy is we've been doing this for 31 years. The team I work for, that you obviously can't see behind me. However, the team has been doing this for 31 years. And we have clients that have done 25 years. So we do care for clients, and we care about that repeat business, and we make more money long term than we do short term. So yeah, if you don't care for the client, you don't have a business. It's as simple as that. So absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, very, very important. That's wonderful, Kevin. So thank you so much for the information. It's a whole new kind of investment that we can see on this channel. So how can the audience follow you on social media?
Yeah, okay, thanks. So I have my LinkedIn channel, and you can follow me on LinkedIn. Please do feel free to contact me through Iker as well, and I'll be delighted to take any call or even a free sort of 30-minute diagnostic or 15-minute Zoom call. I'm open to that, but please follow me. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Great. And any last thought or a phrase you can close up this interview with?
Yes, absolutely. Which I told my investors, especially through the pandemic, when it was one of the most painful, hardest parts of my financial career, because I didn't have a book I could refer to, how to manage investments in a global pandemic. It was today, yes, but 2020, I didn't have it. So I just kept telling my clients, remain calm, and when the markets go down, actually, if you can, always buy more. Because look what happened, the markets went back up.
Wonderful, Kevin. So thank you very much for this interview, for your time. And we'll get social media. So if you want to invest in the UK, secure and in long term, please contact us. Kevin, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
No, pleasure is mine. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Pues muchísimas gracias a todos por acompañarnos en esta entrevista. Estuvimos con Kevin Luckham, yo soy Iker Capistrán y nos vemos en la próxima.